Hi guys, and welcome to another video. This video is about rounding, so looking at how we round decimal numbers and also how we round to the nearest 10 or the nearest 100 or the nearest 1,000 or whatever we need to do. So, when rounding a number, the first step is we're going to cut, what we say is cut the number after the required decimal place. So for this question, we're going to cut the number two decimal places, which means two numbers after the decimal point. So this is our decimal point. We've got 1, 2 places, so we place a cut afterwards. So that's the first step. The second step is that we look at the number after the cut. So we're looking at this number here. Now there's place for you to write both these things, and you also have the number for you to annotate as well. Then what we do, so this is step 3. If the number after that cut, so the number we're looking at is 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, we leave the digit unchanged. So we leave this one unchanged. But if that digit is, so if this 4 here is a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, we increase this number before the cut by 1. So this would become a 9. Okay, so 57.684 to 2 decimal places is then rounded to 57.68 because we're leaving the 8 as it is because there's a 4 after it. Let's do some examples. So we're going to round the following to 1 decimal place, so one number after the decimal point. So we're going to essentially cut it. I might get a pen. Oh. Grab a pen. So we're going to place our cut after the 1. We're looking at this number here. It's 5 or above, which means that this becomes, we're cutting it here and we're looking at this number 1. So this 1 is below 5, so it's 4 or below, so we leave it as is and it becomes 5.3. For this one, we cut it here. Again, this is a 1, so we leave it as is. Now this one, we're going to put a cut here. This is an 8, so it's above 5. It's 5 or above, which means it becomes 6.3. We make this 2 go up 1. That's a terrible arrow, but it'll do. So it goes up 1. Now this one here gets a little bit tricky, so we're going to place a cut here. This is a 6, which means that the number before goes up. If I add a number to 9, I get 10. And the way that we would make that is we actually take this one up 1. So when the number before the decimal goes up above 9, we make the number before the decimal go up 1. So our answer is actually 3.0. We're carrying the 1. So what I want you to do now is pause it, do the last 2 questions and come back. So what you should have is we cut here. We look at the 3, which means it's 4 or below, so the number stays as it is and it becomes 7.6. And the last one we cut, we're looking at a 5, so it's 5 or above, which means we go up to 6.8. Pretty easy. What you're going to do now is just keep incorporating this now into any questions that you do. If it asks for decimal places, I want you to focus on rounding in this way. Thanks, guys.